I was asked what actually happens in a ransomware attack. So I'm going to give you an example of something that happened to a client recently, a law firm, small legal firm, about 12 people working there. And this is very typical of a ransomware attack. So what happens first is usually with a phishing email or some old unchanged passwords that are floating around on the internet, a hacker, a malicious actor, will gain access to someone's computers or systems of files. And then they wait. They'll deploy some reconnaissance tools that will give them a really good idea of how much ransom they can charge, you know, what's likely to get paid, what's the value, so they can try and get as much money out of this as possible. And once they've done that, they will encrypt everything, all files, all documentations, okay? I'm talking case files, client documentations, billing information, recordings from Zoom calls, everything. It's like a thief going into someone's house and knocking all the doors, all the cabinets, putting padlocks on, taking the key and saying, I ain't giving it to you until you give me pretty much as much money as you could possibly cough up. Now, usually a business owner will pay up thinking, I've got no choice. But this is a grave error because you're doing two things. First of all, that information is probably already all exposed. You anyway going to have to go and probably legally tell your clients, your customers, that through a security breach, their private information is now leaked out there on the internet. And number two, as soon as you pay up, you've just informed the attacker that you will pay ransom, and you're probably going to then be a repeat victim. Paying up is no assurance that you're going to be safe from this or any future ransomware attacks from the moment you pay. First of all, you've got to make sure you've got everything backed up and safely backed up. So you've got to have everything backed up really, really well. Second of all, you've got to have measures to make sure that this sort of thing can't happen, that attackers can't get into your network, into your system in the first place. There's got to be detection. There's got to be protection from that happening. And then, yeah, doesn't matter how well you protect things, everything's penetrable one way or another. So the third thing you've got to do is you've got to do some education. You've got to make sure that people know on a reasonable level what not to do when they receive phishing or scam emails, anything like that.